Thank you for joining us. Before we get started on today's episode, just a quick reminder to please smash the like button in the bottom right corner and subscribe to Locked On Senators so you can be the first to know when new content arrives. The best way to help us grow is to comment on the video as well. So let us know if this is a player you want the Sens to draft or you think they should stay away from, and let us know why as well. This is one of 64 draft profiles that we're producing, so let's get into it. All right, back to our draft rankings, and coming in at number 4, the top defenseman in our draft rankings from the Czech Pro League, David Jiricek.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ross. This is the top defenseman in this draft class, and that's no knock on Simon Nemec because as we profiled him yesterday, go check out that episode. He's a great defenseman, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things as he develops. But Jiricek is a much more well-rounded defenseman, and I would say a much better defensive defenseman. And that's where he really scores a lot of points with scouts because he's already doing so many amazing things at this young age. And for a defenseman to be able to do that is pretty impressive. I think it's really unfortunate, Ross, that he had that knee injury at that short World Juniors tournament, and he did need surgery there. But luckily, he was able to come back and play some games near the end of the tournament here. And when you've got a right-hand shot defenseman that stands at 6'3", 190 pounds, that's going to get a lot of scouts and GMs excited.
Yeah, it certainly will. If we pull up his statistical profile, he's big, 6'3", 190. Still some room to grow into that frame, but plays that premium position right shot. It's almost like the Drysdale versus Anderson debate, but here we have two right shot defensemen in the mix. You mentioned you got hurt at the World Juniors, missed the second half of the season, which is a bit of a bummer because you wonder how high this guy's stock could have gone had he been able to make a quicker recovery from what was just a devastating injury in a tournament that didn't even end up counting. So you looking back, he's probably pretty upset that derailed his season. In the first half of the year, 29 games played, 5 goals, 6 assists, 49 penalty minutes as well. And he's ranked as high as 2 from elite prospects. That's impressive. 2, he's 3rd on Tony Ferrari's board, 4th for Chris Peters, 6th for Scott Wheeler, 7 for Bob McKenzie, and Craig Button's got him all the way down at 8th on his list. So that's a little bit of a range here from 2 to 8. But again, we're starting to get to this echelon where you know this guy's going to be gone in the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no. I don't see any sort of scenario, Ross, where he goes past the top 5, and for good reasons. I mean, EP, we joked about the Mr. Medals for Frank Nazar. I think Jiricek is the real Mr. Medals here, Ross, because look at these awards he was given by EP. Best defensive defenseman, best neutral zone defender. So out of two of the 3 zones, he is the best for a defenseman. Second highest floor, 3rd best hitter, and 3rd best offensive defenseman, and 4th best transition D-man, and 5th highest ceiling. Like, he's just so ready to start his journey to the NHL, and it's not going to take him long to get there. That's for sure, because the awareness that he has, not only defensively but offensively as well. I really like his defensive play, though. He doesn't just focus on the puck; he reads the play. I watched a Let's Watch by David St. Louis from EP, and he really focuses on the play. And he's able to read the play, and he doesn't just get caught puck watching standing in one spot. He has great gap control. He doesn't allow plays to build. He shuts them down before they have a chance. And when you're that big, he plays physical. He's hard to beat up against the boards. He's relentless when pressuring opponents, like when they have the puck and he's pestering them. It's a big issue for them, and they end up usually turning the puck over because they can't handle all that. And then out front, nobody's standing in that slot without getting a couple good cross checks and without getting some bumps and bruises from Jiricek. That's for damn sure.
Pierre Dorion gets fired up about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's super strong. That's where I think the big difference is between him and Simon Nemec right now. Jiricek is just like we said that Nemec, like maybe 1 year in the AHL, then he steps right in. Like, to me, David Jiricek is the most NHL ready defenseman
Agreed.
in this draft. And it would make sense I mean, he's one of the oldest defensemen in the draft as well. He's a November 2003 birthday. Obviously, the cutoff is mid-September. So one of the older players in the draft, a little more time to develop. Now, the Czechia League isn't exactly elite. So has he had enough competition? Then the argument on the other side of that is he's 17 years old playing in this pro league, and it's his second full season. And yes, injury aside, but played 34 games last year at this level. I actually played 4 games at the top level as a 15-year-old
Yeah,
as well.
wow.
So he's already closing in. He's got 67 games worth of pro experience, 20 points, plus 14, 85 penalty minutes. So as you said, he's always getting in the mix. That,
Oh
to
yeah.
me, he is just the type of defenseman that a coach is just going to love throwing over the boards every other shift.
Now, Ross, would you say the Czech league is a little bit higher than the Slovakian league?
Yes.
Probably, eh? Like
Yes.
probably,
Bigger country.
yeah. Both of those are right under Liga. That's kind of where they're
Yes.
at. Yeah, so definitely it's good that he has pro experience. He's playing up against men, and he's able to. I just highlighted all of his defensive capabilities, but don't think that he can't turn it up on offense. Like I mentioned, EP rated him the third best offensive defenseman, and he's able to anticipate plays on offense too. Like in that video I watched, the Let's Watch video. Before the puck even gets to him, he knows where he wants to move it, and he's able to hit open teammates quickly because
He's aggressive, eh?
he's very aggressive, and you have to be sometimes because there's spots where if he had cradled that puck for a little bit and scanned the ice and then made a move, that open player is no longer open because guys are watching him scan the ice. He does a pre-scan, sees an open guy, I got the puck, boom, off his stick and on the tape of his teammate. So that's really impressive. He uses a fake shot to open up passing lanes. And the reason that fake shot is so effective is because he has an absolute bomb. Like when he shows signs that he's going to use a slap shot, it's like panic mode for everyone. Like get in the lanes, everybody focus on blocking the shot. So when everyone changes their position, now forwards are open, and if he fakes that shot perfectly, he can then pass it off to them, and they've got lots of space to head into the high slot. So that's just such a good tool to have. And he's a powerful skater too. Like maybe not, I wouldn't say a fast skater, but he's powerful. Like if he gets 3, 4, 5 strides in his own zone and he's heading into the neutral zone, good luck stopping that train. Like you can't do much there. You just have to either get run over or try to force him all the way wide so he ends up in the corner. There's not much you can do when David Jiricek is coming at you full speed.
Yeah, no doubt. A little bit Mark Mathot like, when he got on his horse, he could fly, but the first step, it's not going to blow you away,
No.
which isn't the end of the world. But I'd say when it comes to Yurchek's offensive ability, it's probably like we were talking about for some of the forwards, like maybe trying to force it a little bit too much. But he's not intimidated ever by the seemingly older competition all the time. Just reading through all the game logs, it's like, yeah, seems like he can fit, no problem. And it also seems like it's a market correction after Moritz Seider was ranked so low in the public sphere, and then ultimately was taken 6th overall. But that's the shades of here for the elite prospects team is Moritz Seider. You have that physicality package. Maybe defending, you want them to be a little smarter, but they have such raw skills. They're such athletes that they defend with their body, with big hits on the blue line, and more in their zone, they're able to attack the forecheck. And now, does that leave them susceptible to a little chip over their stick? And next thing you know, they're out of position, maybe. And that's something that they're going to have to coach out. But I also think that you'd rather rein back a prototype defenseman like this rather than have to push him the other way. So I think this guy is a phenomenal hockey player. And whether it's the Kraken, we kind of think they're going to take one of the two defensemen, whether it's an Emmett or Jiricek there at 4. The Philadelphia Flyers are probably going to be salivating over who they get as the leftover of the two.
Yeah, I think the Flyers are going to be the first team where they're going to have a decision to make, right? Like I think everyone else,
unless there's a trade, we know the Devils are thinking about too.
Unless there's a trade, that's definitely fair. But I think everyone else by now kind of has an idea of where they're going to go and who's going to be available. But the Flyers, that's where it gets interesting. I still think Simon Nemec is a better fit for Seattle just because they've already built their decor very defensively heavy. Now, how effective was that defense? That's another discussion. But I think Nemec would kind of highlight what they're missing here. Although they are looking at Klingberg, there's rumors linking Klingberg and the Kraken, so that would take care of that. But definitely Jiricek, whoever has a chance to draft him, they would be pretty stoked about that. EP even mentioned in their notes, Ross, that there were some discussions and debates among them that maybe Jiricek should go first overall.
Whoa!
So, whew, that is a spicy one right there. But man, if you have an opportunity to draft a guy who is shades of Moritz Seider, did he do anything of note recently? Oh yeah, rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Not a bad option to go with that as your first overall choice. I don't think you'd be too upset with that. So definitely there's some intrigue with Jiricek here. Ross, I really think he's got the building blocks to become a number 2 defenseman and maybe even a number 1. Like, that's how good he is here. I don't see any possibility for the Sens to draft him, though, which is very unfortunate. I think it's more likely Nemec could be available than Jiricek, but I've got him at 4.5 stars. Again, that half star taken off only because I don't see... I'm not optimistic enough to see him falling to the Sens. So that's only knock on him, is that he's not going to be available for our team.
I'll dare to dream, Pilsy. I'll say 5 stars for David Jiricek. I just think he brings every part of the game, how the Sens like to play in their own zone when they're at their best. I know that there's been some inefficiencies over the past few years in how they play in their own zone, but he's certainly like an aggressive player and right shot. He kind of fits what the Sens need in that sense on the back end, knowing how loaded they are on the left side. So I will dare to dream. I will say 5 stars with the caveat that he might not get out of the top 3, but certainly to me, he's a top 5 pick. And it's always worth noting that a defenseman has gone in the top 5 every draft since 2001. Let that sink in.
I don't think that's about to change this year either, Ross. And imagine Jiricek beside either Sanderson or Thomas Chabot would finally be like, oh my God, finally I've got a guy here that can play with me. Whew. So it'd be pretty incredible, but I'm not as big of a dreamer as you, so probably not going to happen.